Buck Ruxton is the confirmed murderer in this case. He was born in Bakhtiar Rustamji Ratanji Hakim. He studied medicine and surgery in Edinburgh. He became a doctor who practiced in Lancaster and was a very well-respected general practitioner in his area. He was married to Isabel Kerr, and it was known that the relationship was very abusive. He was jealous and always angry towards her, assuming she'd been cheating on him, and that led her to attempt suicide multiple times. The victims of Buck Ruxton were Isabel, his wife, and Mary Rogerson, the nursemaid. Buck and Isabel had a few children together, and Mary would take care of them. They both died September 14th, 1935. Buck had been in an argument with Isabel, and he actually strangled her. He'd then killed the maid with blunt force trauma. He mutilated both their bodies beyond recognition. He did this because he knew anatomy very well, being a trained doctor. So he removed any identifiable features such as eyes, teeth, fingers, and several pieces of the skin, and cut them into about 30 pieces. Buck Ruxton attempted to cover up any evidence that the murder had been involved. After he drained the bodies of blood in his bathtub and got rid of identifying features by mutilating the bodies beyond recognition, he cut them into multiple pieces and wrapped them up in newspaper. This newspaper unfortunately had the date on it and was specific to the area where he lived. He drove to Scotland and dropped the remains under a bridge. When he came back, he told the family and friends that both women were on a trip. Some of these things that Buck Ruxton did was a reason why he was caught, because it was very sloppy and careless.
Discovery of the bodies. The bodies of the two victims were discovered September 29th, 1935, under the bridge where he disposed of them. And basically, this quote is from a newspaper article that explains what they found at the scene, which was various body parts, all separated from each other, wrapped in various materials such as blouse, cotton sheet, and most importantly a newspaper, which ended up leading to his capture because it was able to be traced back to him. Forensic analysis. This case was nicknamed Jigsaw Murders due to the puzzling way forensic scientists had to solve the crime. They were extremely innovative in the techniques they used, which led to a lot of advancement in forensic science. More forensic analysis. Cause of death. The older woman, Isabel, had bruises, congested lungs, and a damaged hyoid bone, which proved she died from strangulation. She also had stab wounds and broken bones that occurred post-mortem. The younger victim, Mary, had blunt force trauma that indicated she died from being hit and stabbed multiple times with a blunt instrument. Time of death. They found the time of death through entomology, which identified how old the maggots on the decomposing bodies were, therefore proving how long the victims had been dead. Since the maggot eggs they found were somewhat new, they were able to confirm that the bodies had been there for about 2 weeks, placed in that location under the bridge no later than September 17th.
Even more forensic analysis. Victimology. Detectives were able to recover a set of fingerprints from the pair of hands found at the scene, which gave them a way to identify the victims. The development of the skulls and their sutures confirmed that the two victims were women, one between the ages of 30 to 50 years old, and the other was 18 to 21 year old. Most importantly, they used superimposition to identify the victims. What is superimposition? The placement of photos on top of each other to get a match. It matches facial features of skull, such as cheekbones, noses, chins, and head shape. It was famously used in a case with the skulls and pictures of Mary and Isabel in order to prove the remains were theirs. And finally, I'll be explaining the importance of this case. The reason why this case was very important is because it was the first case to implement forensics anthropology, entomology, and photographic superimposition techniques. Also, it was a case that required a lot of persistence and innovation, leading to the Jigsaw nickname. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good day.